Well, a very good afternoon from Phuket, and today I've brought you over to Layan Beach. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Layan Beach, this is situated at the northern end of what really is Bantao Beach, because Bantao Beach is one very long beach, but it goes by several names, starting off with Bantao Beach area and then moving up to the Laguna Beach area and then on to here where we are today, which is the Layam area of the beach. So really it's one long beach, but they call it locally by various different names. But today we're going to be looking at the northern end, or otherwise known as Layan Beach. Now this beach, of course, I've covered it before on the channel on several videos, on my Bantao video, my Laguna video, and now the Layan video, I guess you'd call it. But it is a beautiful beach, there's no doubt about it. And of course it's ideal if you're in the Bantao Laguna area or even outside of these areas to come and visit this beach. Now your own preferred area is really down to you, but even here at Layan Beach we still have a lot of good facilities, good restaurants locally around this area. There's one just 2 minutes from where I'm standing called Tony's Restaurant. No, it's not owned by myself, unfortunately, but there's Tony's Restaurant. I saw a restaurant called Paul's Restaurant. So a lot of restaurants here, and of course we also have the Catch Beach Club situated in this area, but unfortunately at the moment they are temporarily closed. According to the Google Maps that I've looked on this morning, they haven't yet reopened, but we're going to have a wander around the area. You never know, that may be incorrect information and it may already have reopened up. Of course, the beach clubs are something that I will be covering as we're going further forward into the year. I know I haven't covered any yet, but they are on my list, so just bear with me. If you're new to the channel, my name's Tony and I will be your guide to Phuket. Okay, so let's now start and take a look around this area. I've just pulled in really on one of the side entrances to the beach because, as I've said, it's quite long. It doesn't really matter where you enter the beach, but to my right hand side you have a national park area which is situated at the very northern end of this beach, and then working your way back you've got lots of little places. I mean, this beach is really beautiful. It's very long, as I've said. It runs all the way down the coast here, unbroken, so it's just an excellent beach to come and visit. Now you can see in front of me a lot of sun loungers. Some of these look really nice, I must admit. I haven't been to Layan Beach for quite some time. I think it's probably 2, maybe 3 years since I've last visited this beach. So I've been wanting to come back over and take a look to see what's happening. Of course, I've covered the Laguna area, as you know. There's some areas now where they're doing food and drink right on the beach. I mean, how beautiful is that, to have a lunchtime meal overlooking this beautiful view across the ocean. Let's just not walk past the tree because that's going to block the image, but I don't want to intrude because I realise there's people in there eating. As I've mentioned before, not everybody's happy to see a camera, so I do like to respect people's privacy. But as you can see, that is just phenomenal. Really is beautiful. A little bit windy today, you probably can see it yourself. The brolly's sort of moving in the wind. Let's just go around here. I'm trying to actually get onto the beach, but I don't want to walk straight through the restaurant if I can help it, because as I say, people are eating. There's a few people there in the sea, I can see, enjoying it. The weather, people are asking me all the time. Well, unfortunately the last week or so it hasn't been normal March weather. As you know, March is classed as the dry season, but unfortunately there is a typhoon off the coast of Myanmar. Not a typhoon, sorry, a hurricane. Let's get it right. And that is causing some unsettled weather here in Phuket. We've had some rain, some cloud, as you can see there. It's a little bit cloudy. It was quite nice where I live, blue sky, but as I've made my way over I've noticed cloud, and I thought, well, that's pretty typical. Every time I get the camera out it sort of clouds up for me. One of those things, I need to put it away, but I can't do any content when I've not got my camera out. So it's not too bad. It's mixed, the weather is mixed. We did have some rain last night. Normally when it rains it doesn't last too long. So of course if you're coming out here in the next few months, then hope for the best but plan for the worst. It's always a good idea to have a few ideas of things that you can do if it's raining, of course. Nobody wants the rain, but sometimes it happens. So it's a good idea to have a few ideas just stored away, just in case. Most of the time, the rain doesn't last long. A few hours, sometimes less than that. Sometimes it's come and gone in a matter of 10 minutes and you wouldn't even know it's rained. But other times, it can rain quite heavy. And when I say heavy, I do mean heavy. So it does pay to have a few ideas in mind if the weather's not great. But today it's not too bad. A little bit of a breeze. The sea is a little bit rough. I can see some waves. But generally it's not too bad. It's nice to come out. It's warm, of course. One thing I love about Thailand is the climate. Even when it rains, it's not cold. So honestly, over here I don't mind it when it rains. In fact, it's actually quite refreshing. It's nice to have a little bit of rain sometimes because it cools things down. You can see in front of me here quite a large restaurant. I don't remember this being here, but I may be wrong. It looks like this is the Paul's restaurant. A lot of beach chairs, sun loungers on the beach, so you can come and relax. I'm guessing you can order right from your beach lounger. They look like bean bags actually, the bean bag type. I'm guessing you can order your food and drink right there and they'll bring it over to you. And they've got some tables if you prefer to eat at tables. I mean, just look at this view. I mean, how fantastic. Oh, I could really sit and have lunch looking over that, that's for sure. There is no doubt about that. Beautiful. As I've said, one long beach running all the way down this coast here. You're going to go past the Laguna area down there somewhere and Bantao, right to the bottom. So it's a great place to come, this area is. A lot of people ask me where I recommend, and honestly, Phuket has a lot of good areas, and it's very difficult without knowing people personally and knowing their tastes, their likes, their dislikes, to recommend a particular area, because there are so many good areas. I much prefer to show you the area in detail, which is what I'm doing on my channel as best as I can, trying to include as much detail to give people the best way of making a decision for themselves rather than relying on somebody else, because of course I don't know your personal tastes, I don't know your likes, your dislikes, I don't know your individual situation, whether you've got children, how old those children are, what the children like to do, etc, etc. And to try and recommend places when there's so many good places, it's very difficult for me as an individual to do that. And what I try to do is to say to people, well, have a look at my videos, have a look at the areas that you think are going to best suit your tastes. And that's why I'm out now doing a lot of videos. I'm out nearly every day, I'll be honest with you. Yesterday evening I was out filming, the day before I was out filming, today of course I'm out filming. So I'm doing an awful lot of content at the moment, and this is going to build up over a period of time, and you're going to be able to use my channel and the videos that are held within it to give you a very good picture of the island of Phuket and where you want to stay. I'm covering at the minute Patong, as a lot of you will know. In fact, part 2 of the Patong nightlife video will be available later today, but obviously that it will already be available by the time you're watching this video. So I'm going to be covering Patong in a lot of detail. I'm not going to say every single soy, but as many soys as I can possibly cover, I'm going to try and cover. So we've got another restaurant there. I'm guessing that's a different one. Babylon to the Paul's one. So quite a few already. There's 3 there. And as I mentioned, there's the Tony's restaurant just a little bit further down, but I'm making my way up the northern end, really, just to give you an idea of what the beach is like and what's here. Plenty of little places in between where you can chill out, maybe bring a picnic with the family, whatever you want to do. There's something for everybody here, and that's why I like this area, because it's not just for one type of people. You're generally going to find small bars, small shops, there's massage, there's everything you need really within this area. So again, certain areas of Phuket are, shall we say, I'm not going to say are geared for a certain type of people, because that's not necessarily the case. Like Patong, most guys will automatically think, oh, let's go to Patong because that's where all the bars are, that's where all the girls are, and that is true, but it's not necessarily geared just for single guys. So it really comes down to your taste, and saying that this area is geared for just couples or families, whilst it may be true on the surface, there are places even here where single guys could come and have a great holiday. It really depends on you as a person and what you're looking for. So one thing I will say about Phuket is it has an awful lot on offer, and it's going to suit virtually everybody. You know, I'm not going to say everybody, but virtually everybody, because there's always going to be one person out there that's never happy. Okay, let's have a quick look at the prices here, just to give you an idea of the area. Reasonable prices. One thing I will say, and this is coming from personal experience, I find the Laguna area of Phuket and Bantao, well, not necessarily Bantao, but let's say Laguna and this part of Phuket, Layan, is a little bit more expensive than some other areas in Phuket. So because there's a lot of concentration of 5-star hotels within this area, and I guess that's the reason. So you're going to pay just a little bit more maybe for food. Now I'm not saying that's guaranteed, because I'm sure there are some absolute bargains to be had within this area, within restaurants that are doing deals. But because I don't live in this area and I don't frequent it all the time, I don't know to every single restaurant here and the prices, but generally my experience is you will find this area a little bit more expensive because it's geared towards the more discerning traveller, people that are looking for a little bit more luxury. I mean, they have some phenomenal hotels within this area. You've got the banyan tree, which I've covered on my video in part, not the whole of the facilities. I have done a video on a villa at the banyan tree. I think it was classed as a spa pool villa, and then I've also done the hotel, the reception area, the restaurants, that sort of area of it. But it is quite a big place, so I haven't covered it all yet, but I may well go back and cover some parts that I've missed. And of course you've got the Dusatani, you've got the Movenpick, you've got the Hilton over here now as well in this area. You've got absolutely loads and loads of very, very prestigious hotels, so a really good choice. Now I'm not going to walk all the way to the end, because as you can see it literally goes all the way to there, and this part now I believe is the park area, the national park area. I will list the name on the corner of the video so you know what it's called. Off the top of my head I can't remember, but lots of sunbeds here. Is that a restaurant? We've got a little hut there selling drinks, and then we've got somewhere, it looks like massage actually. So again, what a fantastic place to have a massage, right on the beach overlooking this view. I mean, I've mentioned it before, my personal favourites when it comes to massage is the oil massage, and to have an oil massage looking out across this, I couldn't just think of anything that would be more relaxing, to be honest. It would be fantastic. So there you go, Layan Beach. Definitely worth visiting. I mean, if you're staying here, then you've got a fantastic beach right on your doorstep. You don't really need to go anywhere else. I would encourage you, of course, to check out Phuket, not just stay in one area. But if you're only here for a short period of time, then you've got some great facilities to look forward to. But if you're here for a longer period of time, then of course I would encourage you to explore more of Phuket, because it has an awful lot on offer, which I will be showing you over the coming months and years. Of course, exploring Phuket all the time. I'm even finding new areas. When I did the part 2 of the nighttime or nightlife video in Patong a few days ago, I found a new soi there that I'd never been down, because obviously Patong's a little bit bigger than people realise, and unless you're living there, you probably don't go down every single soi. But I went down a soi because I was actually looking for somewhere to park. I can't even pronounce the name. I mean, I got Nat to pronounce it because it's one of those long winded, tongue-twisting names that they have over here. There's nothing ever short. So it's sort of difficult to pronounce, but I've never been down there, and it was absolutely full of life. I couldn't believe it. They've got restaurants and shops and everything down there. Well, of course, if you haven't already seen the video, then go and check that video out, because it's great. And that's what I say, Phuket has a phenomenal amount on offer, and it should suit, I'm not going to say 100% as I've said, but most people it's going to suit. There's something here for everybody. If you want the nightlife, you want the excitement, the entertainment, they've got it. If you want the let's try that again. If you want the peace and quiet, they've got it. Places like this, I mean, you can see there's a few people here, but it's not exactly crowded. So if you want to get away from it, you know, you're going to be able to find that, and everything in between. Well, I'm glad to see that the weather's holding for me. Normally it doesn't, but I have now dusted off my waterproof camera, because I'm determined this time that the weather is not going to stop me. No matter what, I am going to be out and about filming, come sun or rain, because contrary to common belief, the sun doesn't always shine in Phuket, unfortunately, and that's why I say always have some backup plans in case it rains. You know, I have a few ideas of what you can do when it's raining, and I don't mean just sitting at a bar. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine, but have some ideas of a backup plan, because you can never 100% rely on the weather. A lot of people send me messages, send me emails asking me about when is the best time to come to Phuket. Well, that is a very, very difficult question, because the weather here is constantly changing, and I don't mean as in every week. What I mean is, say March this year we've had rain. Now normally March is dry, but next year it could be dry, or next year it could be wet. And some people will ask me, well, what's July like? Well, sometimes it's wet and sometimes it's dry. You know, I can't predict what the weather's going to be next July, because it could be different to the July that's gone previously. And it really is that difficult here. The weather can change within a matter of 10 minutes. I've seen the weather go from beautiful blue skies to absolutely pouring down, and then back to blue skies. And I'm like, wow, you know, and that takes place over the course of 2 hours. Sometimes, yes, it rains all day long, but most of the time, when it rains, but then it just stops. It's almost like somebody turning a tap off, and within 10 minutes of it stopping, you wouldn't even know it's rained. So it can be very much like that. So when people say, well, when should I come to Phuket? My answer is, when the best time is for you. Don't worry about the weather, because here in Phuket, generally, we get good weather, or a reasonable amount of good weather, all year round. So even in June, July, August, September, which are known as monsoon seasons, we don't have monsoon from the start of the month to the end of the month. Sometimes, yes, we get some days where it rains, but sometimes we get better days in July and September than we get in March. It's that simple. So it's very difficult to predict. As I've said, always plan for the worst and hope for the best. That's my best advice. If you've got a few ideas that you can do, I'm sure it's not going to last too long. It'll pass over and clear up, and then you'll be able to come and enjoy stuff like this on the beach, which I can't think anything better of. Now, I will be covering the area of Layam a little bit more. I'm going to explore some of the restaurants. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to keep this to just the beach area, because as I say, it is an absolute cracker of a beach. No matter where you're staying along it, it is stunning, well worth visiting. And I just really wanted to cover this area because I haven't covered it recently, and it follows on from my recent videos on the area of Bantao and of course Laguna, because this is all part of it. And if I don't cover it, then I'm missing out bits, and people are asking me, well, what's Layan Beach like? Well, now you can see it. So, you know, it's just a matter of trying to cover as much as I can to show you exactly what the island is like. Okay, one thing I want to mention is very recently I have started working alongside a company that will be supplying tours and trips, because I'm being asked quite a lot about this and they're interested in going on. Swaddy Cap? No, I'm okay, thank you. Cobb and Cap? Thank you. A lot of people are interested in, of course, doing the trips and the tours, etc., and they ask me who I recommend. And of course, this is difficult to recommend somebody unless you actually work alongside them and sort of monitor what's going on, because of course I'm very mindful of putting my name to anything or recommending something, because social media can be a great place, but it can also have a not so good effect if you get people that are not happy with your recommendations. So I'm very mindful of this, and not only that, I understand how hard people work for their holiday, no differently to myself when I used to come here on holiday before I was living here. Worked very hard all year for my holiday, and you really want to spend that money on things that are deserving of that money. You want to have great service, you want to have a fantastic experience, and you want to be able to take memories away from the island here in Phuket that are going to last you a lifetime. So I'm very mindful of that, and I don't want to endorse particular companies unless I work with them, alongside them, and can see what they're doing and see the service they're offering to people, and sort of give them my thumbs up and say to you, this is somebody that I think you should use. This is somebody that's going to give you what you want. Now, they are going to be supplying all manner of trips, both the standard trips to the islands, tours of the island. When I say trips to the island, let's make that clear. Trips to islands outside of Phuket, such as Phi and Maya Bay and things like that, where people are going to want to go. They also do guided tours of the island as well, so if you're looking for a tour guide, they do various things, and I'm going to be introducing that in the coming weeks on my channel. I've already started to introduce it on my Facebook group, so of course, as I said before, check out the description. My group details are in there. You want to join it. There's stuff in there that I don't always put on YouTube and can be very useful for people that are looking for information on certain things, and this is something that I'm going to be looking into a lot more. Of course, I will be taking the trips myself, because I'm not going to endorse something that I haven't tried myself. But of course, this is going to take me a little bit of time to do, because they have a lot of trips. Now, they offer all the standard stuff, but what I like about this particular company, and this is what really I've been drawn to them, is they can customize the trips down to what you want. So if you just want a budget trip, you don't want to be spending too much money, then they can supply those trips. But if you're after something a little bit more special, maybe you're out here on a honeymoon, maybe you've just celebrated a big anniversary, maybe a birthday, whatever the reasons are, you're looking for something not run-of-the-mill, something a little bit different, this company is going to be able to put it together for you. Yes, of course, it's going to cost money. I'm not going to say everything's free, because it's not, but if you're in a place where you're not really interested in the cost, then this company is going to be able to put you something together that is going to be very, very memorable, and something that you're going to be able to take away with you for a long time. And I think that's important, to offer people a mixture of everything, not just the standard run-of-the-mill trips. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those trips. If you're a budget traveller, a backpacker, whatever it may be, you want to do the trips at an affordable price, they do them. But if you're after something a little bit special, then this company is going to be able to help you. And keep your eyes open for this, because as I say, I'm going to be doing some videos on it. I'm going to be introducing the company and the lady that you will be working with, obviously, that will take all the bookings and do all the sorting out of the trips, whatever it may be, whatever you decide you want to do, she will sort it out for you. Her name is Nika, and I will be introducing you to her shortly, but I just wanted to mention it on this video. And I think that now has covered everything that I want to cover on this video. So, as always, I'm going to say to you, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, you take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.